Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here with my next Legend of Korra Book 3 Change episode review. This is going to be the last one for Book 3, and it's for the season finale final episode, K313 Venom of the Red Lotus. I just watched this episode for the second time just there. Overall, really good episode to end the book, I think. That's the kind of main thing to say. It not only I think ended things pretty well, but it set up book four in a very interesting way. I don't think anyone could have possibly predicted with some of the stuff that happens towards the end, and I suppose what it hints at as well. But yeah, obviously, like the main gist of the episode is a kind of again huge action scene, very much continued from episode 12, but this time you have Korra in the Avatar state, weakened by poison, fighting Zaheer, who's obviously able to fly, and that gives him great maneuverability. And then you have the other team members taking on the remaining members of the Red Lotus, and Minghua, Gazan, and so on. So a lot of little things going on, and then you just get kind of the more emotional kind of epilogue style scene at the end. We get the reveal of what going into specifics now. We get the reveal of what the Red Lotus wanted Korra for basically the whole book, and that is that they wanted to kill her, yes, but they wanted to kill her in the Avatar state so they could end the Avatar cycle forever. So that's their plan, and that they considered her a world leader, but they obviously had a different approach to her because the Avatar works a little bit differently in that if you kill the Avatar, one's always reborn and stuff like that. And if they didn't, end it completely, there's the potential that they just kill one Avatar, the next one's reborn, and maybe they're not around to deal with the next Avatar and stuff like that. So their plan made sense. Kind of just leaves you feeling a little bit underwhelmed, just because you're kind of like, they had so much mystery kind of set up around them, the Red Lotus, and then to find out that this big thing is just, we wanted to end the Avatar cycle, and it's a little bit of a repeat, very similar to what obviously Unalaq and Vatu were trying to do last book, destroy the Avatar Rava completely, and we get roughly the same thing here, just obviously like different approach kind of, but for what it was reasonably good. Still stand by some of the like overall complaints about the book, that Minghua, Gazan, Pali is here to some extent underutilized as characters in terms of actually really delving into them as a character, in terms of maybe giving them some backstory, showing us more who they are as people and stuff like that. They got very few scenes that really showed that kind of more emotional side. Zaheer did a lot better than the other three, but still kind of valid, I think. And so obviously the poison, I think most people just assume it's mercury because it's later revealed to be metallic, and then just some of the properties, and that it's a liquid metal, it's poisonous, it causes some of the stuff that Korra went through and stuff like that. Then even just the way when Suyin threw it on the ground, it's the way it kind of formed kind of naturally into kind of spheres, circles, and stuff like that. I think that's definitely mercury, so that was interesting. And then just to see the kind of hallucination that Korra went through almost immediately, seeing the Red Lotus members as the villains from the previous books. So Amon, then Unalaq, then Vatu, and obviously she's in front of the book 3 villains, Red Lotus. So that was a really kind of strong scene to have there, and that obviously leads to the whole idea of they're going to poison her, wait for the Avatar state to activate, and then kill her almost immediately. And it kind of just shows you guys are seriously underestimating the Avatar state here, and that was something that I kind of liked over the course of the book, in that they were so confident in their abilities, the Red Lotus, the four of them, because they're such powerful benders and stuff like that. Maybe if Pali was there, it would have went a lot smoother, but even so, they still thought they could handle Korra in the Avatar state and stuff like that. So that was interesting. They had her all chained up. They had like this plan all thought out, but the one thing they just completely underestimated was just how crazy powerful the um, Avatar is, and so they weren't expecting her, chained up with via platinum to the walls, that she could just earthbend the walls off and basically get the chains out that way, and it would give her enough strength to snap the platinum itself, and then that kind of leads to the kind of fights happening, and then like while this is all happening, we get reintroduced to Jinora, Opal, Kaya, Boomy, and all these other kind of characters who were captured. And we see that Jinora is using her ability again to find out where they are. They're all in the same cave. It's just a little bit bigger than we first thought. And Opal's there, which was nice. Again, underutilized as a character, I think. I hope we get to see more of her in book 4, especially her relationship with Bolin. We find out that Kaya and Boomy are alive, but they're badly injured. And they even kind of seem to hint that like if they don't get medical attention in time, they could not make it. So that was very dramatic. And then the kids come up with a plan to get to get themselves out just as the adults arrive, and then that everything kicks off from here. You basically have everyone run out to kind of try and help Korra, while Mako and Bolin fight Gazan and Minghua in the cave, which was a really dramatic fight, because the brothers lost pretty badly last time they fought them like one on one like this. Bolin has extra lava bending now, but Mako doesn't have a new skill. We also know he has lightning bending. He hasn't used it, and it just turned out really well. Just the fact that they started off having an earthbending battle at the start, and then he switched to lava bending, and then Bolin revealed he had it, and it was just a kind of nice moment there where he just revealed that I have new tricks too. And then Mako kind of getting the advantage on Minghua, she jumps down into where there is water, uses her kind of octopus form thing, but Mako kind of does this cool kind of like acrobatic thing where he just jumps up and kind of suspends himself across some stalagmites, I think, and electrocutes all of the water, including her, because she has to be attached to it. So that was a cool way. Like, did he kill her, or did the whole place like melting, collapsing kill her? That's going to be up in the air. Like, does Mako have a kill count, or was it considered double suicide from Minghua and Gazan? Because that's what he does when he's double teamed by the brothers then, which was pretty insane just the way he did it. He just like, I'm not going back to jail, which does reference the previous scene that he had talking about how boring it was and how he didn't like it, and so that was a kind of that they gave him like a reason for just doing it, I suppose, was interesting. And yeah, just like, again, showing the insane destructive powers of lava bending, that he can literally just decide to take down a mountain, and that's what he does here, and the brothers barely make it out. Then just the fight itself between Zaheer and Korra was really cool, and very much reminded me of Aang versus Ozai from the finale of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Not quite as like insanely powerful, just because Zaheer didn't like his bending. He didn't like do anything overly like impressive. It was mainly again his gymnastic kind of skills and just using that ability of flight, because Korra was weakened during this fight, and she herself wasn't really using airbending at all, which I thought was interesting. Just she seemed to definitely go more with fire, earth, and water. Huge emphasis on fire and earth, though, was the main ones she used in this fight, because instead of just having circling walls of all of the elements around her, she just focused on basically doing what Ozai did during his fight with Aang and just flying around using firebending, which I thought was an interesting reversal in the fight, that you had Aang using airbending to kind of fly around, and Ozai using fire, and then here the Avatar is using the fire, and the airbending is the villain here. So that was a nice kind of table turn moment to have. And yeah, over the course of this fight, you really just kind of see that Korra's kind of weakened, and she's not just completely overpowering Zaheer, as like often happens when like the Avatar state comes into play. he is a lot more maneuverable, but also Korra is kind of suffering from the poison, and he's just kind of zipping in, blasting her into a mountain, and she really does take a lot of kind of like damage. She's like gets smashed off walls, smashed into the ground a lot of times in this fight, um, which compiled with the kind of the poison, you can understand why she's in a wheelchair at the end of the book. Um, but the fight, it was really cool. I don't think it's like the best, like most amazing bending fight we've ever seen, just because the actual bending moves that we saw weren't as good as like other times we've seen them. But it was always, it's always awesome to see the Avatar state used like that. And yeah, he basically is just then about to use his kind of move he used on the Earth Queen, the kind of suffocation, take the air out of her lungs to kill her. Um, when Janora comes up with the idea to have all of the airbenders there do the kind of Bagua circle walk, make a giant tornado, and fire it at him, and it was a kind of cool set piece end to the book where he's desperately trying to kind of fly out of the tornado while holding on to Korra. She then kind of regains consciousness a bit, and he knows that it's kind of like over, and uh, she kind of like falls down. She uses the chain to pull him down too, and like smashes him into the ground, and then he's defeated. And but Korra's so badly injured she nearly dies, and uh, then it comes out that it is indeed a metallic poison. Jinora notices this, and Suyin is the one to get it all out of her. Now, there's obviously speculation about did she get all of it out? Is that maybe why Korra's still suffering from the effects of the poisoning? Is Suyin Red Lotus or not? That's still up for debate. We'll have to see in book 4 what exactly happens there. But definitely, it just interesting way to kind of defeat the villain here, in that he's still alive, but the other 3 members of his group aren't. And uh, interesting choice as well, just to kind of turn him into a madman, basically at the end. That he just starts raving like a lunatic at the end. Takes a little bit away from him as a character that he did that and wasn't just kind of silent, I'm defeated and stuff like that. No, he's a little bit crazy right now. Was a little bit disappointing to see, just to kind of make such fun of him after he's defeated in such a serious moment, but it all kind of came together very nicely. And then to end the episode with this combination celebration but also very sad moment, in that you have this awesome moment for Janora that is like the combination of the past 3 books of development for her finally getting her airbending tattoos, and this being at a ceremony to celebrate that, and then finding out that Korra is in a wheelchair and has been for the past 2 weeks, and is going to take a long time to recover from the poison and all the injuries she suffered. It's this really weird way to end the book. Like, I didn't expect it to be like super happy to end the book like that, but just seeing that like the main character is potentially going to have to recover in the next book and stuff like that. So you sort of wonder, like, is it going to be more like Avatar: The Last Airbender, where Aang ended book 2, he was killed, brought back to life, but he was still badly injured, took a long time to recover, and only eventually got back into it then. But even then, like, the recovery period took place in between books. We've already had a 2-week break. Are we going to get another time skip before book 4 even starts and Korra will be healed? Or will we actually pick up book 4 with Korra still healing and stuff like that? There's a lot of questions you still kind of wonder, like, about what they're going to do, like, because she's still going to be the main character, and I think they do still need to, like, have a lot to do with her, because she has to get over this, obviously. I think they have to give her a happy moment, because if you think about it, book 1 she lost her bending. Yes, she got it back, but she still had to suffer through the whole idea of she lost her bending. Book 2 she lost her past connection to the past lives, and then book 3 she lost the ability to do her job. She lost, her health effectively. It is the way to say it. She's lost something in each of the books so far, and I think it's very important that book 4 end with her gaining something, a kind of celebration of Korra, you know, that this is, she does have like a big legend now, and maybe giving her back the past lives or her finding that would be a cool thing to do. But I definitely think just the idea of, you know, having Korra out of action presents a cool thing for her as a character, in that we always think of her as so action focused that now if she wants to do anything as the Avatar, it's going to have to be more kind of political, like working with the world leaders in more of a kind of diplomatic kind of thing. And so that'd be a cool thing if we just see her still in the wheelchair, meeting with like the Zuko's daughter, the Fire Lord, and discussing stuff, discussing how to handle the situation in Bossing Say or something like that. She's now on better terms with Raiko, and like he's agreeing with her on more stuff. That'd be an interesting way to do it, while you have Jinora kind of leading the Airbenders, who Tenzin has now tasked with once again being nomadic and effectively taking on the role of the Avatar, while Korra is out of action and unable to fulfill it herself. Which is, it really presents Jinora as now she is a main character 100% now, and really think she's going to have a huge role in the next book, as really right up there. And I hope Kai, Opal and stuff like that, they have big roles as well. I'd like Iki and Milo to get more time on screen as well, just because Jinora worked so well giving her time. I think those characters could use it as well. And what else was I going to say? It's just kind of, you just kind of like don't know what's book 4 going to be called now. How are they going to introduce a threat? Is there going to be a new threat, or is it just going to be as we suspect, them hunting down the rest of the Red Lotus? What is the big issue of book 4 going to be? Because right now, Korra has to recover. They have to show the Airbenders kind of attempting to bring balance to the world. You have to have a plot. You have to have arcs for other characters going on. You have to deal with the Red Lotus, and potentially have all this kind of new stuff happening. Varric will probably have to come back into things. So you just kind of wonder, like, are they going to have enough time to do all this and, wrap up not just book 4, but Korra as a series, because this is the final book. But yeah, just this episode, in terms of their ending book 3, was really well done. I don't think it was good as the book 2 finale. I still think that overall I prefer the book 2 finale, just because I think it was more epic. It had like stronger moments. Not that there was anything wrong with this finale, just that I think the whole super spirit focus of the book 2 finale puts it ahead in my estimation anyway. And just like all those moments, seeing Rava, for me it's kind of one of those things, like, can you even do a fight that's bigger than like Korra versus Unavatu in terms of like fate of the world at stake, and stuff like that. But still, Venom's Red Lotus, excellent episode, in terms of just action that it had in the episode itself, as well as setting up future stuff. But that's been my review. I'll probably come back with another video talking about the book as a whole. But for now, podcast for this episode will be this Sunday. But thanks for watching this video, and bye.